Cherylannchapman. I'm irisforcier. And we are
the words right out of my mouth.
Coffee and a podcast. I'm talking over her. I've had a lot of coffee today.
I'm a little
First one
sleepy.
coffee. Cheers.
Cheers. We had Northern Lights last night, so I was up late.
That was so beautiful.
Wasn't that amazing?
Although
Mother
that
nature is
magnetic
amazing.
field, though, was like at supposedly the highest it's been around our area, like 5 on a level 5 or something.
Wow. As long as it's not a bad 5.
It's a good 5.
Oh my god.
But it was so pretty. There were so many
beautiful. Oh
beautiful photographs on
amazing.
Facebook, right?
Mother nature is so amazing. The
color.
Your
Your area could see it even better. I saw pictures of it from Marysville.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you were out there.
I was.
We did this like this so we could block out our city lights, you know. We put our hands up so that we could see. It was perfect.
Yeah. No, it's just, and it's going to be again tonight, but when you guys see this, obviously, it would have already passed, but it's going to be after dusk again tonight.
Oh, really? It's going to be beautiful.
So
and the moon was like this sliver. And it was the first time I've ever seen the moon like that, where I could actually see the shadow.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like a cookie, like a chocolate cookie dipped in white.
And well, yeah. Oh, that sounds good. Where's that? I want that with my coffee.
I brought you
but I do have the muffin.
I brought you a muffin I made.
You did. Thank you so much.
Oh, and look what Cheryllann gave me for Mother's Day. A beautiful Mother's Day card.
For a beautiful gal.
Beautiful. And, I mean,
wait,
the loot here. This is Calm and Relaxed Tea. Oh, with the most beautiful relax mug. And you can double this as a coaster, or you can cover it up so the bugs
tea stays warm
and the pests
and that's all good. Yeah,
they stay out. And then this other beautiful cup, which
matches
I love.
your flip it. Does it show? Oh, it's on both sides. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh no!
And I only got you a muffin and little flowers.
Oh my gosh! I got it. Hang on. No. That's the best thing because they're
some lemon balm, and I think the little ones are.
They smell so
not
good.
Pansies though. I meant to run out and look, and then there's a chive. There's a chive in there. Did you just drop something in your coffee, FYI?
No, I just
heard. Oh, is that what it was?
It's just my
Okay.
Look at those cute.
So cute.
Isn't that cute? And they
And they're edible. I like to grow things
so
that you can eat or drink or smash or whatever.
That would be beautiful. Whatever. What is that? What is that thing? Portamestal? What is that thing? That little smasher thing?
I
can never say
I don't know.
it.
I knew it before you
that
said
little
it.
Smasher thing with the
I'm just gonna call it the little smasher.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful day. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend.
Except for I heard the rain is coming again. Like I'm not excited.
No.
Yeah. But I mean it does. We're in Washington
Maybe we
State.
can just do this.
We're in the Pacific Northwest, and
it's true.
When it's nice out, people here are crazy.
Oh.
Everyone's friendly. We're like, oh my God, we got to get outside. We got to do everything at once. I mean,
before the sun goes away.
like it's a full day and night. Like we pack it in when it's nice out.
And we have to because she had quite the adventure getting here today.
Road construction. They went down to 1 lane on, what is that, I-5, right through there, coming into Marysville. And I was like, I'm in a parking lot.
Yeah,
but I made it. I'm feeling
good.
Yay!
We're so happy because you're presenting.
Yeah.
I'd have to be like, what could I just pull off the
So it was a while ago since I wrote this report, so let's hope I can do it justice and remember.
So who are you doing?
Hey, today I'm doing Susan B. Anthony.
Oh, and I would love to know more about Susan B. Anthony.
We pick people at random. We have like a giant list of people to pull from. And sometimes they're controversial, sometimes they're not. We just pull from either reading books or our sources today or Wikipedia.
Yeah, people give it to us or we see something.
And sometimes they're deep, sometimes they're not. I mean, it varies. We're just varying people. Yeah. So today,
crazy too.
Susan B. Anthony, my sources are Wikipedia. And by the way, we're on episode 15. We are cruising.
Yeah.
Susan B. Anthony was born Susan Anthony. Oh yeah, there's a story for this. She wasn't born Susan B. Anthony. She was born Susan Anthony. February 15th, 1820.
February 15th. She just
What is
missed
that?
Valentine's Day by
I
a
know.
day.
Oh, it's okay. In 18,
Still in our
she
hearts.
gets 2 days, the holiday then.
There you go.
Because when it's on the same day, it's kind of a drag for people. when
Well,
they're
that is
working.
true. That is true.
So she was born in Adams, Massachusetts, and then she passed away March 13th in 1906. So she lived till 86, which is pretty astounding when
Wow,
you think
but-
about the people in the 1800s,
Well, you
because
think-
it's like we can barely live that long, you know. And
Well,
they
you
had,
think they're medical.
Yeah, exactly.
So they didn't have the
Yeah.
same bonuses
You
that
had
they
to
have
be
now.
of some hardy stock.
Oh,
with no medical issues.
absolutely. Absolutely.
She passed away from heart failure and pneumonia.
Aw.
That's a fair age, though. 86. She lived a good life. I mean, if I get to 86,
She lived a great life.
I'm going to be stoked.
Yeah, I'll be like, wow.
Yay, celebrate.
Good time. Come on.
So, Susan B. Anthony was known for her advocacy of women's suffrage, women's rights, and abolitionism. I hope I said that right.
I learn new words from her.
Which is
every
a
episode.
person who wants to stop or abolish slavery. Right on.
Oh, okay.
So she was like rocking the cause.
Women's rights and abolish.
Yep.
Nice.
It comes from, as an American
realize
social
that.
reformer and women's rights activist, she played a pivotal role in the women's suffrage movement.
Wow.
So
Hard,
not
love it,
only
nothing.
was she standing up for women's rights back then, it's like, God, we went a little backwards lately with our women's rights. We got to get back on that podium.
Yep.
Okay, so here's her story. Susan's parents were Daniel Anthony and Lucy Reed Anthony. Hey, those are
Lucy.
kind of neat names for
Yeah.
back then, 1800s.
Lucy, that's
Daniel
yeah.
and Lucy Anthony. She was the second oldest of 7 children. They did not have birth control. Susan, well, they had big families.
They had big families too. Usually,
They had
sorry,
birth control?
I'm eating. No. I don't know about that, but they. Not what we have today.
I don't know.
No, because
They just-
a lot of them on the farms to
Yeah.
help out, to babysit.
Right.
Because the parents, I mean, it's no different than today. We work
Right.
like crazy.
Yeah.
But they needed all those farm
Right.
hands that they didn't have to pay.
Yeah, true.
And so that's why they usually had the bigger families. Or they just left kids. Or
So
just,
she was from a big
yeah.
family. She was born into a Quaker family who believed
Oh.
in social equality, though.
She was a Quaker?
Yeah. Susan adopted the letter B.
This is why we do this, people. We
I
get
know.
to learn.
We
I
do
did not
get
know
to
she was a
learn.
Quaker.
Susan B. Anthony,
That's
the
cool.
Quaker. So Susan adopted the letter B as a middle name of one of her relatives to distinguish herself and the family. Adding a
Oh.
middle initial was a big craze during this time.
Oh.
So if they didn't have a middle name, they're like, let's give you an initial. Her
I thought it was like, be good or be quick or beautiful or best. Or,
Susan
I don't
Beautiful
know.
Anthony. We'll call
Yeah.
her that.
Well, just to be like, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
Her family shared a passion for social reform. Her brothers Daniel and Merritt were in Kansas City supporting the anti-slavery movement. They didn't want people to be slaves. Her brother Daniel became mayor of a town called Leavenworth in Kansas, whilst fighting
There's a Leavenworth
for the
in
people's
Kansas?
rights. Yep. I know.
Wow.
It's
and
really
there's a Leavenworth
weird.
in Washington.
That's right. And it's weird because every time we hear these names, it's like, that's so weird. Oh, what's really trippy is when we hear these names in Europe that were there before we ever became colonized.
that's
and
true.
it's like, that
That's
really
true.
freaks me out too.
That's
anyway.
true.
Susan's sister Mary became a public school principal and women's rights activist in Rochester, New York.
Wow, 3 really
4.
important. Well, no,
What?
3 because we haven't hit the 4th one, right? 3 of them so far,
No.
really important. So far, her and
Two
her
brothers.
brother.
2 brothers, Daniel and Merritt.
Oh, they both did that.
Yep.
Oh,
And
okay,
then Susan's
sorry,
sister Mary became a public school principal.
Wow, very successful kids.
Yep, and women's right activist. Well,
Wow.
we'll see why in a minute.
Yeah.
Women's right
This is
activist
awesome.
in Rochester, New York. She would later live with her
Rochester.
sister Mary. So Susan's father was also an abolitionist and temperance advocate, which I had to look up because I'm like, what is that?
Temperance would be.
They had a lot of names for
Yeah.
different groups back then. And, they what we think of now as PC, politically correct, they had their own names back then for what was going on.
Sure.
Anyway, her father, he didn't want slavery either. Anyway, temperance advocate.
Excuse me.
The temperance advocate, it started in the mid-1700s to 1800s. I can see the allure of this as they believed that without moderation, people would fall ill. Meaning if you drank too much alcohol. It's
Hello, so true.
It said people that would fall ill. Chronic unemployment, spousal abuse. There is something to be said about moderation. So the Quakers rebuked the father because he married a Baptist woman.
Ooh, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. Susan's mother raised her children with a more tolerant version of what people called for back in the days of old. Susan's father encouraged all of his children to be self-supporting and taught them business principles and gave them responsibilities at a very young age. And I think that helped shape all of their lives.
Oh, that's
Susan's life for sure.
That definitely shapes you.
Yeah, it's really cool, It's interesting to note that like in our time when we have financial fallouts in the economy, that this is nothing new in history. You were just telling
we were
me.
just talking about that. It's like
It keeps coming around.
it just keeps repeating itself, and my son thinks everything's new, and I'm like,
Nope, that's been going on forever.
that's been going on for a while. Go look at your history. Obviously, he wasn't paying attention in history class.
Well, they didn't talk about it probably a lot.
Yeah.
Susan's family suffered when she was 17 years old when they lost everything.
Oh.
And I know what that feels like.
I know what that feels like.
Unfortunately, a maternal uncle saved them from this period.
Oh, nice.
Thank God for uncles that are good. Susan was forced to move to a Quaker boarding school where she taught. Our uncle saved me and Scott too once. That was nice in our family. So thank you,
Uncles.
Uncle Richard.
Love uncles.
Yep.
Oh, my brother helped me out too. Well, he's not my uncle though.
Sure.
That's my brother. Yes,
So,
I will drink coffee,
this
people.
This uncle. So Susan was forced to move to a Quaker boarding school where she taught, which probably helped the family. She made money,
Yeah,
she
she
was
probably
able.
gave it. Yeah,
In 1948, the Anthony farmstead in upstate New York, where they had moved, became a gathering place for local activists,
Oh, cool.
including Frederick Douglass, a former slave and prominent abolitionist who became Susan's lifelong friends. And as I did a lot of reading now with a lot more people to come about that who have inspired through history, there was a lot of
Abolitionaries?
abolitionist.
Or abolitionist?
Abolish.
Okay, don't ask me to say
They
that more than one
abolished. They
time.
were not into slavery.
Exactly.
Susan had moved on from the Quaker school and became head mistress of the female department of the Conjurer Academy at age 26. I probably said that wrong. So feel free to send us an email at coffeeandapodcast, the number 3. Is it the number 3?
Number 3.
At gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Because this looks like a Roman numeral, so we should
Yeah,
have like
3.
we need like a
I'll
3
do-
flip. Oh,
well-
let's just flip the whole thing. Coffee and a podcast.
I know.
3
I'm going to do
at gmail.com.
little cards on a stick.
Susan had moved on from the Quaker school. I already told you that. As we're having
Old news.
as they were having women's rights. As they were having women's right to vote events. They're having vote events. During this time, Susan admits that I wasn't ready to vote. She was 26. I didn't want to vote, but I did want equal pay for equal work. Wow. We've been fighting for this forever.
Yeah. But thank you. You
Academy
it, yeah.
closed. She did inspire a lot of people. Closed down in 1849, and she took over writing reforms and made her money from here on out as a public speaker.
Oh.
So she was doing TED Talks before they were popular.
There you go.
So that's where they got that idea.
Yeah,
that's
they
not
copied
new
from
either.
Yeah, from
She forged an amazing friendship and partner with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. It could be pronounced KD
I think it's Caddy.
I think it's Katie.
But we'll be catty about it.
Caddy Stanton. Stanton was her last name.
But it could be Katie.
Elizabeth had 7 children and had to stay at home, but she was the writer, and Susan delivered the speeches for the women's movements. So that's kind of cool. So that lady that was writing all these amazing things had 7 kids. How do you find time to write? And the inspiration to write with trying to manage your household and
exactly
children.
Wow,
and
that's kudos to her.
And then Susan got out there and preached the message, and that's good.
That's
to help
awesome
for women's movement.
Yeah.
In 1853, Susan sparked a debate among men about whether it was proper for women to speak in public.
What?
Yeah. Susan said, "Do you not see that so long as society says a woman is incompetent to be a lawyer, minister, or a doctor, but has made ample ability to teach, that every man of you who chooses this profession tactfully acknowledges that he has no more brains than a woman." In other words,
Or equal.
That's right. She had her work cut out for her, in which she created. And she created this work for herself. I can appreciate that as an entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely.
It was truly awesome. She joined in the National Women's Rights Convention.
Wow.
Not only was she fighting for the rights of women, she joined in the fight to abolish slavery. She spent years speaking and writing letters to the government.
Wow.
Yeah, that's daunting,
I mean, just to have the tenacity to keep going, just to keep going.
Exactly. In her journal, it once told of how she helped a slave escape to Canada with Harriet Tubman.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, these people really crossed paths.
Yeah,
All these famous people that fought off slavery. Her friend Stanton and her organized another group, Women's Loyal National Group, in 1863. There's much to say about Susan B. Anthony and her amazing contributions, and now we enjoy this because women fought for women, children, and slaves.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The women are out there, just slaying it. It's like, and if we think about it now, it's like, come on. Women don't generally, yes, we have our faults and our problems, but we're not out there saying, let's kill everybody. We're more like, let's just get along and have some muffins and coffee and tea.
And a podcast. It is so funny that, the Mars Venus, thing where men are so much different. They're ready to, and then women are just like, wait, let's work things out, and
let's communicate.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I don't know how we make it work.
I don't either. So Susan B. Anthony never married. She spent her life for the cause of women's equality. She is quoted once as saying she wished to live another century and see the fruition of all the work for women, and devoted her life to the cause of women's equality.
I'm going to cry on that.
She was really amazing.
Yeah.
It is interesting to note that women were fighting for rights in the United States in the early 1900s. It blows my mind that we have been treated as second-class citizens if we don't have control over our minds and of our bodies.
Yeah.
And we absolutely should have control over
ourselves.
Yeah. It's our body, not yours, man. You get your quality of your own body, not ours.
Exactly.
So, Susan, at the tender age of 16, played a key role in organizing anti-slavery petitions, and then in 1851, also organized an anti-slavery convention in Rochester, New York.
Wow. At 16?
No. Yes. She was also part of
how many 16-year-olds do you know are doing that?
Well, they didn't have as much to do back then. So
this is true, but still, that's amazing to be.
I think at 16, I did a lot of foolish things, but I think I could have accomplished more because I really didn't have any.
Right.
What else did they have to do?
You and I have that. Yeah, but
what were they doing, really?
Well, they're on the farm, but it's just interesting because school and then helping out and doing laundry and baking. You know, like
she
the
was
traditional
just a very
roles.
passionate person.
And so that's so awesome that she did that.
Yeah.
She broke the mold.
She did. And she was also part of the Underground Railroad. An entry in her diary in 1861 read, "Fitted out a fugitive slave for Canada with the help of Harriet Tubman. Amazing how these two women crossed paths to do great things."
That is so cool.
Now here's some interesting facts I thought was pretty funny. Well, not funny. Some are serious.
Yeah.
Anthony Dollar was the first...
I have one somewhere.
You do?
Yeah, somewhere.
Was the first time that a woman appeared on a U.S. circulating coin. Yeah. The coin replaced the Eisenhower dollar and was minted from 1979 to 1981. Because I guess they don't do money of live people. They do them when they're dead. Which is so sad because they don't get to see their money and play. Like, except for the Queen. I mean, that's not our country, but in the U.S., I guess you got to be dead.
Wow.
And again in 1999,
that just sounds so funny.
It honored women's suffrage leader Susan B. Anthony.
Wow.
Some claim she was a lesbian because she preferred the company of women and various other reasons. And you know,
cares?
Maybe she was just asexual or whatever, not into relate. They have all these names now. What is it called? No romance or is there a song? No romance, no romance.
Well, fluid.
Anyway.
Fluid is another word too. From what I thought, fluid was like you could go anywhere.
I mean, maybe she just wasn't interested, or maybe she had a bad experience. Who knows? Or maybe she just liked the company of women versus men. Maybe it was less threatening. Who knows?
Well, maybe because you know she had the wonderful
she
partnership.
Had the passion, yeah.
And then that's all she needed. She just needed that partnership with her friend, and they had the kids. And who's got time for another person?
Yeah.
You know, I think that
she celebrated her 80th birthday at the White House.
Oh,
President William McKinley invited her to celebrate as she had become a public institution.
Wow.
Susan had little patience for traditional Christianity. She usually kept this private, except when to defend women's rights. This is cool. Anthony said about that controversy that every religion or none should have an equal right on the platform. She also wrote, I distrust those people who know so well what God wants them to do because I notice it always coincides with their own desires. At another time she wrote, I shall earnestly and persistently continue to urge all women to the practical recognition of the old revolutionary maxim, resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. So, whether she was an atheist or just believed in a different idea of God than some of her evangelical opponents is not certain. There was a Navy ship also named after her. It was built in the 1930s, originally named the Santa Clara, and was renamed Susan B. Anthony.
Oh, I remember Santa Clara.
I know. When it went out to save soldiers in Normandy. However, it sank in 1944 during a rescue mission. My dad was on one of those.
That's so cool, though. But it's doing a rescue mission.
Yeah.
So
she was a formidable woman. The sources and notes are interesting on the interesting facts. So, you know, thank you, Wikipedia. I need to start donating to you because, you know, I think we can donate to Wikipedia, and I think that's important because
I didn't know that.
We use, you know, I don't know how it used to pop up, but now I have to sort it out and figure it out so that I can donate because we use, I mean, I do read books on, I didn't read her book, but I mean, or books about her, but a lot of the resources were drawn from books written that Wikipedia also used. So if you want to know more source notes, you'll have to go to Wikipedia and look at this very long list of sources.
That'd have been cool if, like, the Adventures of Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah, I'm sure they have one. I mean, and I'm sure that there's so many people to cover.
Oh, yeah. It sounds so cool, though. Susan B. Anthony.
I know.
I mean,
not
rather
Susan
Anthony, Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah. So, like, celebrities, you know, were like, they always have, their agents are like, no, you don't want to be called this. You need another name. So, even back then, I guess it was important how that sounded to their ears, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, I think some parents really thought about, you know, like Alex's name is Alexander Charles Chapman.
Oh,
Alexander Charles.
And my daughter is Piper Madison Forcier. Because that's the name of our real estate company too, Piper Madison.
I know, I think that's so cool. Well, I forgot. Alicia, I can't believe Alicia Lynn.
Alicia Lynn.
Well, she's now Rizzuto.
But
Alicia Lynn.
Rizzuto.
Rizzuto.
Like
she's Italiano. Yeah, the Italian. Yeah, Italian family.
Very cool.
Italiano.
So, in lieu of today's subject with Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I didn't realize the deeper things about her, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, and like I said, we're going to do so many people. There's so many people to do. And if anyone wants to correct us or tell us who they'd like to hear, let us know.
True. And or if you have more details that we don't know about her, we'd love to hear. I mean, it's great to hear. So it looks like you got some quotes.
I got a couple of quotes for these because I think these were relevant to today's podcast or today's subject. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, I didn't show them the tea you got me too.
Oh, you
Calm
did.
and relax.
Calm and relax.
I did.
So I got my 3 gals.
Her friends, her besties.
Yep, the besties. Relax, the mug, and the relax and calm tea.
Nice.
Because we need to relax. I
want to smell it, actually.
I wanted to, too. Ooh, that smells yummy.
It does. Wow. It's got lots of little dried things in there.
Yeah. There's your dried flowers.
Edible.
Probably has edible.
Drinkable.
Yes, drinkable.
Okay, so one of our today's quotes, this one is from +energy_+ on Instagram. Always stand up for what you believe in, even if it means standing alone. And the original of this was Kim Hanks. So always stand up for what you believe in, even if it means standing alone. And that's what these women did. Mm-hmm. You know, they stood up.
It's hard to do that.
It is hard.
But when you're passionate about something.
It is hard. Because you don't want to always rock the boat, and you don't want to get ostracized. So it's a challenge. But you got to find your tribe and your group.
Sure.
And,
well, that just reminds me of when I was working for Pottery Barn, and I'd only worked there not even a week, and I'm like, okay, we got to redo the whole backyard. My mind's
backyard.
Backyard. Anyway, long story short, is I stood alone in it, and then I just kept pushing it, and then my boss did go over regional's head, and we grew immensely, like $1.1 million in revenue. So it's like,
I feel like you should get this kindness back to you.
Oh, so it's hard to stand alone because you get so much resistance but you got to do it because you know it's the right thing to do.
Right. Here's another one that kind of lends for today's episode 15. Mm-hmm. No matter what you are going through today, don't quit. Don't feel defeated. You are doing the best you can. Remember, giving up is not who you are. You may pause, take a long breath, and pivot or find solutions, but always keep going.
I love that. That's I have this thing in me. It's like this little
like a little fighter, like a little warrior. We discussed that. We're like Cherylannch and I are. In a past life we must have been warriors.
And I even have it on my do what's hard. I mean, it's part of my nature. This is part of my the 12-week year. Oops, sorry. I forgot to put my phone on silent.
It was startling.
That's it. We went through all of those already? That fast?
We did.
Wow.
I know. I told you today was short. The next one I present are going to be...
We got all? Even that one?
No, those are for our mini set.
Oh, our mini. That's what I'm like.
Wait. We have a mini coming up.
So that is great. Thank you for... I just admire your little sparkly, the way it's catching the light. The little heart.
Necklace. I got that for Christmas.
So pretty. But that's just so amazing.
Thank you so much for today, and thanks for being here and always having us, deliver these podcasts.
We appreciate our tribe, our extended tribe out there.
That's right, and thanks for listening. And we're doing our best. We're just having fun, really.
That's the big thing.
Learning, because you're never too old to learn, and
No.
So much to learn. And we have so many people to present to.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like,
I think she's got like 100 on the list so far.
Yeah, blow your mind.
But we, send it to us at, Gmail, Gmail and podcast. Oh my God. I need more coffee. Coffee and a podcast 3 at gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.
Make it a great day and
always be kind. Be kind. Because you don't know what someone's going through out there,
That's so true.
And there's an old saying, you can never give kindness away. It always comes back to you.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not why you do it. But
no, you do it from your heart.
You do it from your heart. But that's a
people
philosophy.
Some slack and
compassion. Mm-hmm. And Absolutely. We're going to talk about that in the next mini-sode.
All right, so stay tuned. All right, ciao for now.
Bye.